Here we are in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona, where there is no recession. And there's no recession because we have a bifurcated housing market here in Arizona, in Phoenix Metro. People in Scottsdale, Arizona are coming here in droves and going to the gated communities. People coming to Scottsdale and affording $2 and $3 million, $4 million on a house, paying cash, or they're just financing and they don't really care too much because they don't have an affordability problem. We have a lot of people who are afraid. They're coming here to our guard gated communities, and business is very, very good. That's not the case when you go to the normal affordable housing, which is where my personal portfolio is at. People who are renting from us, they're struggling. Things have changed. Let me go to my next slide. Let's just talk about it because there is a recession and we are right in the middle of it, and it's coming. Now, there's that old saying that says, how did it start? Very, very slowly, then all at once. And yes, we've been in a recession since really latter part of 23, early part of 2024, and it's just creeping along. The Federal Reserve, of course, added a huge amount of liquidity right before the election, and it takes a long time for that liquidity to work its way out. But it's worked its way out. Once Donald Trump was elected, the central banks around the world put another $5 trillion into the economy. And that really boosted things, really boosted the stock market because that's the most liquid markets in the world. And if you want to put some safe money, where are you going to put it? You're going to put it into the U.S. stock markets. So let's talk about housing because that's what's going on here in Phoenix, Arizona. We are not immune from housing. We are already feeling the fact that in these affordable marketplaces, that prices are starting to struggle. And we have lots and lots of people who are entering underwater status. Part of the program, we've been talking about this for years. It's really too late for most people right now to sell. It's pretty much over with for most of them. Now we're going to talk about recovery, and we're going to talk about how we are going to make a lot of money. So again, I've been preaching this. Remember, this is a slow process. So we don't have to rush into it, but we're going to get very, very good buys are coming, and particularly in home builders. You know that Warren Buffett's already made his purchase in homes, new homes, and we're going to start making ours soon. Not yet, but soon. So let me just go. I don't want to make this a long video. I've been gone for a little while. I've been on speaking tours, and I've been doing an awful lot of projects. I've been speaking a lot, and I've been ignoring my videos. So I want to get back. I apologize for that. If you have questions, I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what's going on in your neck of the woods. I'd like to hear your comments. Just put it down below. A like and a subscribe is always good. And so let me go to my very first slide, and let's just talk about what we see in the marketplace right now. So we're being told that there is no recession. Excuse me. That's just beans. Recession absolutely everywhere. We're seeing it in construction of all places. We're starting to see construction workers laid off. So take your head out of the ground and do something about this because things are going to get worse. Let me go to my next slide. Let's just talk about what we see. Because look if you're in any of these cities, we are calling these endangered cities. Chicago, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, Los Angeles, San Francisco, of course, Seattle. Portland certainly is in the news. New York, New Jersey, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia. We could add all kinds of other ones as well. Tennessee is struggling. St. Louis, Missouri, of course. If you're in any of these, you are in jeopardy for these. These are not a good place for you to be. You need to figure out how are we going to get out of them. So here's a simple test for you, is if you're an investor, what's your outlook for the next 5 or 10 years? If it's positive and you say, oh yeah, no, it's going to be great, well then stay. Maybe you are someone who's, this is just a little bit extra for you. But what we're seeing is that we have financial problems in multifamily and in towers. We're seeing the fact that a lot of these places are not coming out. We're seeing the fact that they have 40, 50, 60-story buildings that are coming up for refinance, and they cannot get enough appraisal to cover the debt on the property. That's a death knell. This is happening in multifamily too. We're seeing multifamily, same thing. We're seeing 2-3 years ago, it was a great deal to be buying a multifamily. Couldn't get enough of that. But of course, now you go and build it, takes you 2 or 3 years, and the whole market has changed. And now it's a problem. So if you're in these properties, what in the world are you going to do? Because these are really at risk. Now, you know who's not on there? Baltimore's not on there. Detroit is not on there because they're already failed cities. These cities are failing. And if you're in them, it's time for you to start thinking, what am I going to do? Let me go to my slide here. Let me open this up a little bit so you can see. Some of these slides are pretty cool. So let's just talk about what we got. Now I'm going to open this up even more because you want to see this. This is where people are leaving from. Now the blue states are where people are leaving. And that, of course, is California. No surprise there. New York, no surprise there. And Illinois, no surprise there. And they are going to Florida, and they're going to Arizona. Not so much Texas anymore, but certainly Florida and Arizona. These are the top states for people to come to. And there's certainly reasons for that. We've talked about the fact here in Arizona, what's going on. So let me just talk about what's going on. Let's talk about this first, though. So again, I've been crowing this. I've been telling you over and over and over again that foreclosures are coming. Foreclosures are coming. And we're already seeing it. We're already starting to see, even in our great market here in Phoenix, Arizona, we are seeing people underwater because this is astounding. So the Biden administration gave 3.9 million homeowners FHA mortgages. This is coming right out of HUD. And FHA has also provided loss mitigation options for 1.7 million people. It means that they quit making their payments and the government was making it for them. They had a 40% plus loss mitigation. So they have 1.7 million properties that are in loss mitigation. They're delinquent. 40%. 40% of all the FHA loans written since 2020, when Biden got into administration, went bad. These are coming to marketplace. I'm going to talk to you about the why. You know, Dr. Nenner always says to me now, you know, I've known Dr. Nenner for years, and Dr. Nenner always used to say, I know what's going to happen, I don't know why. Well, here's the why. We've been talking about what's going to happen. It's happening right now. We've got a recession. We've got all these properties that are going to be coming to market because they're underwater and they're going to foreclosure. Let me go to my next slide here, and let's just talk about the why here. Look at this. So this is July 2025 originations out of the Housing Center. This is an industry newsletter for FHAs, GSE loans, government-sponsored entities, loans with appraisal waiver. Look at this. Look at the spike. 20 and 21, 2022, right in October, right after Biden got appraised or in power. They quit doing appraisals. Let me go to the next slide. Look at this. They quit doing appraisals. Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, and FHA, they quit doing appraisals. So up to 50% of their properties didn't get appraised. And you wonder why they're having problems. You think, is this even possible? And look at this. We got this from today's homeowners. Nearly 60% of U.S. homeowners are putting off repairs due to cost. They can't afford it. They can't make just necessary repairs. So look, if they're not making their house payment, They didn't appraise the property when they bought it. Remember that crazy stuff? Oh, yeah, I'm not going to inspect the property. I'm not going to do any repairs. I'm not even going to appraise it. I don't care. I just want to buy a property. Well, this is coming home to roost. So take your head out of the sand and start realizing that this is real and it's coming really, really quick. You only have 3 or 4 or 5 months before things are really going to get set on fire. We are just going to see things reminiscent of 2008, 2009, and 2010. So you don't have much time to get this going. You hear me? So the train probably left the station, so it might be too late for you to sell something, but you can need to start thinking of what I'm going to do. Now, let me just tell you what I'm going to tell you I think we can do for you. And I'm going to give you a opportunity to maybe this is going to work for you. Now, I'm telling you that you can do an IRC 1031 exchange. Get the heck out of these. Get out of these endangered cities. Get out of Chicago. Get out of California. People are leaving California in droves. It's still a fairly good market. You know, it's an expensive market. It hasn't crumbled completely yet. You can get out of there. If you've got investment properties, we can do an IRC, a 1031 exchange. Everyone just calls it a 1031 exchange. And we just sell your properties in California and we take them to a better marketplace. Now, one of the best marketplaces in the world is right here in Phoenix, Arizona. Even though we're not immune from the downturn, still the outlook here for decades is phenomenal. And you can move your investment properties out of Chicago. You can move them out of Springfield, Illinois. You can move them out of Indianapolis. You can move them out of Minnesota. You can get them out of Chicago. We can do a 1031 exchange, sell them, and you won't suffer capital gains. We can just transfer that to the next property and do a deferred exchange. And the exchange is fairly inexpensive. You know, what we're seeing mostly here is when we sell, you sell something in Chicago, you come here and you buy 2 properties in Arizona, cost you like $1,400, $1,500, $1,600 in exchange fees. Very, very inexpensive. And you can get yourself out of a terrible market into a really, really good market. Now, we're not immune. We're already seeing prices down from what they were 2 years ago, 10 or 15%. So you're going to get a bonus. They're going to get even worse than that. But you're already at risk. If you're in Los Angeles or San Francisco, you're already at risk. And the decline is going to be worse in Los Angeles than it's going to be here. So let's get you into something that has a decades-long opportunities. Let me go to my next slide. You can just take a look at what we're talking about here. Now here's what's going on in Arizona. The Wall Street Journal did a documentary. They called it "Why a 17-Mile Stretch of Arizona is Booming." It is literally booming. 48% of all Arizona investment and growth is right here on this 17-mile stretch. We've got all kinds of business. So we're seeing Ball is there. We've got Amazon is there. We've got Red Bull is there. We've got Wolf, Sub-Zero put a factory in there. It just you cannot get a distribution center there at all. We've got 19 buildings under construction right now with over 1 million square foot capacity, because it's cheaper to offload in Long Beach, bring it here to Phoenix, and then distribute from here. Your labor is cheaper, your physical plant is cheaper, and now you can get over to California, you can get over to Texas, you can get up to Colorado, New Mexico, Nevada, and still go back to California, and it's still cheaper. And your workers can live in a crime-free neighborhood, get a good, affordable home, and the climate's absolutely outstanding, and the transportation is great. This is going to go on for decades. Let me go to my next slide, and let me just tell you what else is going on here, and you can take a look at it and see why I'm going to tell you to do this. We've got the Taiwan semiconductor plant, and it's not going to happen. It's already happening. So President Trump is bringing all this business that's coming. This is already here. They are already making chips. They got a contract from NVIDIA for $100 billion with a B, $100 billion to make AI chips. And it is exploding. We have so much business, they're going to be employing 62,000 high-paying, high-tech, high-manufacturing jobs. 62,000. This isn't like warehouse workers that they're coming around and they're, or a Walmart greeter. These people are going to make a lot of money. These are high-paid, great jobs. And it's just one. We just loaded with this, already underway. Let me go to my next slide and you can take a look at this. This is why you need to come here. Now look at, we've got 2,000 acres that were just literally, this was a bidding war that was going on over there. And Phoenix is the #1 nation for manufacturing growth at 11.45% increase in a top growth market with 10.5 million square feet of new space. BNSF Railroad, it just bought 4,000 acres out there just west of this plant. And it's going to be a big distribution. They're bringing in rail and they're bringing in freight. They're going to employ thousands and thousands of people. This is a Warren Buffett project. That's who owns BNSF Railroad, guys. Warren Buffett. And they're bringing it into Surprise, Arizona. Going to create tens of thousands of jobs. There's going to be so much business going on. It's already under construction. And D.R. Horton bought 270 square miles, bigger than the city of Mesa, the city of Gilbert, Tempe, and most of Chandler combined. So this is what's going on. We just had Kohler open up a $300 million plant. And we got Nestle's complete a 640,000 square foot plant. And jobs and growth is coming here like crazy. So I'm telling you, we can do a 1031 exchange. Get you out of Chicago. Get you out of St. Louis. We can get you out of New York. Get you out of Massachusetts. We can get you here to where growth is just going like crazy. For decades long, we have a growth spurt like crazy here. People are leaving California. All the entrepreneurs and the high-tech workers and the skilled labor are coming here to Arizona. Now, we are not going to be immune from the coming downturn. We're just not. But it's going to be better here. And we can transfer your investments from anywhere and do a 1031 exchange. Limit your cost. Limit your tax exposure. I know a lot of you guys have like millions of dollars in capital gains. We'll transfer that over to the next property. Talk to your tax advisor. This is legal. We can do this, and we can put these properties where you can get growth again with a tax-friendly state, with a business-friendly state. Do you know that we reduced our income tax here? Reduced our income tax. Who does that? So we went down from 4.6 to 2.5%, and we did it a year early. We just reduced taxes for rentals. We just eliminated them completely. There's no more tax on rentals. The tenants aren't paying any taxes here. This is a great deal. So we are doing really, really well. The growth is good. If I can help you in any way, you've got my numbers here. You're welcome to call me. We can do a private consultation. This is your opportunity. Bad times are coming. We can make that bad time something do really, really well, and we can make a fortune in the coming years. My best to you guys. Bye-bye now.